Hey, cheer me up, man. You've been watching this show on Netflix. You've been saying it's good. It
Yes,
wrapped its lives?
it did. Everybody's in LA. The chaotic madness of John Mulaney's Netflix-funded talk show only ran for 6 episodes. They did one and then a week of 5 in a row.
Okay.
And I found them to be utterly delightful. It's got a lot of the sort of like David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, reminiscent wackiness and series of bits, but it's got this more modern chaotic energy to it. It reminds me a lot of when Chris Gethard used to do his show, the Chris Gethard Show, and there was just like a loose feel to it. Because one thing that I think helped this show stand out is he wasn't bringing on anybody to promote their projects, and he wasn't bringing, for the most part, not bringing on anybody to talk by themselves. You know, he would bring Jon Stewart out alongside a expert in earthquakes, or he would bring out Jerry Seinfeld with an expert in coyote conservation, right? So the topics of conversation are unusual for the guests, and it makes people act a little bit more on their toes. It makes the energy a bit more unpredictable. There's this kind of like absurdist quality to it, because they'll throw from rambunctious talking segment to this very airy and almost like psychedelic field piece with their different slow zoomed shots of LA and strange droning music. There was a couple bits that some comedians that I like who are big on the internet, Rajat and Jeremy, did for this show that I thought were pretty hilarious. But I think it just...
Were they the ones who made that fake thing? The round table?
Yes, the guys from the Hollywood Recorder Roundtable. They did a bit on this where it was like the Jimmy Fallon thing where you talk to like a fake Tina Fey and Amy Poehler about how much you mean to them, and then instead of Tina and Amy chumming out, it was Rashad and Jeremy. But I just found it to be really delightful and kind of like a cure for the things that are stale about a lot of modern talk shows. Like
Oh my God.
Netflix has tried many times to crack the nut of like what their version of a talk show would be. You know, they've brought in a whole bunch of different comedians to do, news versions or more talk versions or just laid back talk shows. And they've never been able to kind of crack the code in a way that penetrates. And I feel like this has sort of found the right rhythm. It's the right mix of really funny people, really funny situations. John Mulaney has got this like real great showman quality where he knows how to steer the ship. But one of the funniest recurring things about the show is when they'll get like halfway through a segment and he'll just abandon it because he's not having fun anymore. He will have callers on and then just basically hang up on them without saying goodbye. I don't know, man. I've really enjoyed it. I hope that Netflix finds a way to bring it back. I feel like Mulaney's probably not interested in doing like a nightly talk show or maybe even a weekly talk show. But I've seen some people suggest like, what if they did once every quarter or every 6 months, like everybody's in Chicago, everybody's in New Orleans, everybody's in New York.
I was going to say, he also did the Letterman thing, right? Because Letterman now does that thing with Netflix where he only comes out whenever he wants to.
Exactly.
And the most recent one was with him. So,
Exactly.
Hey, that's the streaming world. You don't have to make it be this like seasonal thing. That's good.
Definitely. And Mulaney's last few specials have been with Netflix, so he's kind of clearly on the Netflix payroll.
Didn't they do the kid one?
Yeah, the Sack Lunch Bunch also was with Netflix.
So they're watering him. That
Exactly.
they got a
letting
good
him
relationship
do
with him.
whatever he wants to do, and I'm just
That's
hoping
decent.
that whatever he wants to do includes more of the show.
I'm glad the man's back. I'll be catching up with this. I've only seen or heard one segment because Alina was watching it. I was telling you, I'm like, this man just brings in people. And while he's getting ready for another segment, Richard Kind would just go on for 10 minutes telling the most insane story.
Yeah, Richard Kind as his kind of sidekick is such a funny idea. Like he just comes in with these really absurd tangents, and again, it contributes to the like you can't predict what's coming up energy that is on the show. I really love it. I think it's a great formula.
Any favorite bit?
Ooh,
or person?
I just love the, wait, which one was it? There was when Bill Hader and Pete Davidson were on. That was the episode with David Letterman and it's Luann, right? And Luann was making Bill Hader and Pete Davidson crack up so much. Like one of those things where the other people on the show can't contain their laughter.
Luann from
becomes
Borat?
that much more. What?
Luann from Borat?
I think so. Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Oh, no, Lunel. My bad. But yeah, and she... just like the contagiousness of their laughter making the show sort of devolve, I think was my favorite bit about it.
I'm gonna have to check this out. They already got it cooked out.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like because they're not like there for any particular timely reason. I think it's evergreen. I think you could catch up with it whenever.
All right, sick.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep that one on the radar. I want to segue to this little segment that you were talking about right here in his kind of having like a variety talk show, right? Like I don't know what the Emmy category would be for that, but there was that news of the Emmys actually expanding, and dude, this is fantastic news in my opinion. The news comes out that Hot Ones, and I didn't even know about Good Mythical Morning, but I saw a Chicken Shop Date. Both of these shows are now eligible for Emmys. One, they should have been a long time ago if the studios keep sending celebrities there. How is that any different than a Jimmy Kimmel sketch, right? How is that any different than Jimmy Fallon playing the same games that you find at a Target aisle? Yeah. These are quality.
So just to be like really strict about it, like they're different in that they're made different lengths, but there are short form categories that like we see, like Seth Meyers' corrections thing has been nominated for Emmys before, and
he's
just
Seth Meyers,
but that's the thing. It's like now it's like. You don't have to be attached to these bigger properties.
Let's go.
Hot Ones is just as legitimate of a talk show as a lot of these 100%. Other talk shows going on now.
Yes.
And it's cool that there is a category to, acknowledge them because, Hot Ones is certain, like, it's dominating the space that it's in.
Easily, dude.
And like you mentioned, if so many celebrities go towards it that it's obviously like this culture shifter, right? So it's cool that it's going to get acknowledged.
Which one did we just quote? The one for what's his name's HBO show?
Conan Must Go. Yeah.
We were talking about that, whether we were talking about Conan Must Go. Chris Hemsworth just like he's teasing his upcoming one. He's not teasing Jimmy Fallon tonight. He's teasing this. So I think it's good. I also like Chicken Shop Date. I think she's
so good.
what Bobby thinks she has.
Right.
She's got.